What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 10.
Welcome back. It's episode 10.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Say the line.
And you know what's up. It's 30 minutes, and we're starting our week off right. We're getting going, getting moving.
Oh, yeah. It's 6 a.m. probably when you're listening to this. Pacific Standard Time. Could be 9 a.m. Wherever you're listening to this, you are starting your week off right, okay?
And you're getting
it going.
You're getting crazy with us.
You're getting jiggy with it.
We're getting jiggy with it. We're going to have a good week. So,
before we get started, there's a fee.
yeah, there's a fee.
There's a fee, you ask. This is not a monetary fee, all right? This podcast, this audience, this brand, we grow by word of mouth, okay?
Word of mouth.
We're never going to give you stupid ads where we talk about some toilet paper that's revolutionary or some shoe that you should buy. No, we're not going to do that, okay? This is a monetary exchange, all right?
Non-monetary.
Non-monetary exchange. Sorry, I'm thinking about money, thinking wealthy. Anyways, this is how it works, all right? If you got any sort of information from this, if you learned a little bit, if you laughed a little bit, if you grew as a person, go tell somebody, all right? That's how we grow here. Go tell your grandma. Go tell your mom. Go tell your best friend. We grow by word of mouth, all right?
Word of mouth.
Information exchange. Anything we provide for you, you provide something back to us. Anyways, let's jump in. Let's get started.
So, do you know what today's episode's about?
I think I have a little bit of an idea about today's episode.
So today is episode 10. And we're going to be doing something
Double
a little
digits.
different.
Yep.
Double digits, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
10 weeks
Week
in.
10. Yeah, that's crazy.
But we're going to do something a little different. We kind of did this with the last episode, which is more of like a little bit closer to a debate. But really today we're going to go crazy. We're going to be at each other's throats.
We're going to be killing people.
We're going to be debating. And the debate is whether or not you should go to college, kind of the debate between going to college and starting right off 18, being an entrepreneur out of high school.
Yep.
I'm personally still in college.
I did college, but then I dropped out because I chose entrepreneurship. So
and yeah, we're gonna kind of get into it and debate it. And don't worry, if you're kind of doing what I'm doing and doing both at the same time, trying to figure it out, that's totally cool.
Both
Whatever
are viable.
route you go, every route is viable. But we're just gonna kind of debate, get into it.
We're gonna throw our points out there.
We'll have a cool discussion about it, and hopefully maybe push you towards one way or the other, and help you kind of figure it out.
So do you want to get started? Kind of throw some of your viewpoints out there, why you think college is beneficial?
Okay. So, to start off, I'll kind of give a little story, right? So this is the story.
The story of how it all began.
Of how it all began, how I got to where I am today. So, I think, like everyone, me and Nick both went to the same high school. We've known each other for a good long while. And in high school, I always, I kind of sucked, to be honest. I didn't care that much.
Same.
But my mom really pushed me, and I'll say it, I was a little bit smart, okay? I was in the honors classes, the AP classes.
He was in those classes.
And I knew that school was important, right? And I've always enjoyed school, and I always thought to myself I was never going to not go to college, right? That was a mindset I always had. And I'm still kind of keeping with that mindset, and we're going to get into those reasons why. But the main thing for me is college provides something that the entrepreneurship side doesn't. And that's like stability and certainty, right? Compared to
100% true. I can't even argue with that.
Yeah, like compared to something like going and trying to be an entrepreneur, start a business or something, it's hard to just like be comfortable with the level of uncertainty that brings. And for college, it's like, okay, 4 years or 6 years, however long it takes you to get whatever degree you're trying to get. You're there, you're working. Yeah, a lot of people complain, oh, it's a lot of money. Oh, it's a lot of time. I mean, to me, I'm like, it's just 4 more years, and then it's like you're set and you have this degree that'll work to get you a job literally anywhere. But like I said, some people, that's just not what they want to do, and that's okay. But to me, it's that certainty, right? It's like my backup plan at backup plans. It's like no matter what's happening, I have it there to keep me going and to keep me safe from falling into basically working a minimum wage job for the rest of my life. That's kind of how I look at it.
Okay. I'll kind of talk about, my viewpoints here. Basically, I started off doing college. I'm not the most reputable source because I was doing online college, this program that I basically got like scholarship deal. And, I wasn't the best in high school. Like I didn't get the greatest grades, but I did try, and I wasn't by any means like stupid or anything. But like I just never have enjoyed school. I never had much of a drive for school, and I think most teenagers relate.
A lot of people
to
can
that.
relate to that. Yeah.
But I just literally hated school, and I was in this online school thing, and I was taking those courses and those classes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hate this. I literally was so just done with it. I was like, so I was going to major in business, right? And here's my main reasoning. Why would I major in business? To learn, like business ideals from people who don't actually run a business. Why not just go out there and like start a business now, right? Because that was my end goal. I was like, I'm gonna go to school so I can learn how to run a business. And then I realized, why would I waste my time in those like first 4 years, like learning about doing a business instead of actually just starting a business? So that was like my main thought process there, and that's why I dropped out. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna waste any more time on this because my time is valuable now. And if I actually spend it doing the stuff I'm trying to learn and just like going headstrong at it, I'll be way further ahead than those other kids who are spending the 4 years learning, you know? Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
And I think most business majors are not necessarily like entrepreneur business
there's a
owners.
lot of people who are just kind of there.
They kind of just go into administration.
Actually, let's bring up a really good point.
Of the business.
Like there's a lot of kids who are in college right now, you know, a couple of our buddies who are just there, right? Who
are
are
just there,
like,
kind of sitting, wasting time.
That is the worst possible thing right now. Like him and I will both agree on this. If you're in college, just like you don't really have much of a direction, like you don't really want to do college, so you're just kind of like doing classes or whatever, right?
Just kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah, trying to figure it out. Like that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, it's like to be fair, I think it's like, okay, if you really got nothing going on, I mean, you can at least go get like an associate's degree or something. Get something that'll let you unlock the next tier, right? It's crazy. Like if you look at like the job tiers that you can get with just a basic high school diploma, jump tremendously once you get an associate's degree. 2 years and you can get a lot more options. But once again, this is like the thing. It's like, there's sidewalkers. This comes from this book. Why am I forgetting it? Millionaire Fastlane. I've been reading it. Yeah. Well, listening to it, but you know, same thing.
We get the scoop.
So basically what it all talks about, it's about this entrepreneur guy, and he's explaining like so many people go through life on the sidewalk is what he calls it, right? This like, oh, I'm just going to build up money and kind of do whatever, go to college, do this thing, kind of walk on the sidewalk and just kind of follow in what other people say. And then there's the people in the fast lane, right? The entrepreneurs, the people who are making it, the people who are, instead of like just kind of taking it the safe way and just kind of going slow, they're getting in that fast lane. They're putting risk out there, but getting reward, right? So it's kind of these two things. And like, and even, you know, me, I come in this conflicted area where I'm kind of in the middle and I don't know what I want to do, right? And I'm a little bit like, well, I still think college is the best, like, safe route. But at the same time, at any point, I can kind of move around and stuff. And the thing that's important to me is, like, my major, it's economics. And that kind of goes, obviously, in line with a lot of the things we talk about, a lot of the things we do here. And I am doing it not simply because I want to make money or I think it's a good way to make money. Because if I just wanted to make money, I could go, you know, do whatever, right? I could just look for the most optimal, quickest major with the most amount of money potential, right? Yeah. But I'm doing it because me personally, I really love learning about economics, right? And that's one of the things that no matter what, like my main thing about college is this. If you're like, oh, I just don't want to be here, then figure it out and find something that you want to be there for. You shouldn't be spending money if you don't want to be there. Oh, totally. Like, of course, there's going to be courses and times in your class where you're like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like, it's part of college. Happen, yeah. But I mean, it's the same thing with building a business. Totally, there's going to be times where you're going to be like, I don't want to do this. But the fun for me is like when I get to go sit down in those classes that I enjoy, those economics classes where I get to learn new things and I'm like, whoa, this is like really cool to learn about. Yeah. That's what makes it for me, right? It's the same kind of idea. And my point is like no matter what you're doing, right? In like whether you go to college or you don't go to college, in my opinion, the thing you should be targeting is like just finding that thing that you love to do, regardless. Oh, 100%. Right? So it's like, you know, to me, I'm like, I don't care if people are going to college or not. Like, it's like, okay, it's whatever. Yeah. You just should be doing something that you really want to do. Like, it's the thing that you're passionate about. Or if you're not doing it, you're looking for it. You know what I mean? Like, the most important thing is not to just be sitting there doing nothing. Because I think that's where you're just wasting time. Being stagnant like that, it's really going to stunt the growth, you know? Yeah. Another thing that's really kind of grinds my gears about college is a lot of people who go there and they kind of just like party, right? You know, they party hard. They're kind of just expecting to get that degree and then work like a basic 9-to-5 job that they hate, right? And that happens a lot. Like there's a lot of people out there who are in the rat race, you know, especially like I feel like college really feeds into the rat race a lot because people just get caught up in the whole thing of just, oh, I found this 9-to-5 job. It pays $50K a year. You know, I'm going to settle for that and I'm going to work my way up the corporate ladder. Like that to me, that scares me, right? Because like, that would totally kill my growth because I would get comfortable in that situation, and partying in college it's totally something that like captures a lot of people. Like I know you personally, you're not like a huge party or anything. Right. And like, but there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there who are like working
who are literally going to these crazy parties, like having as much fun as they want in college, staying up late, and then they're like, oh, I can't wait to get this 9-to-5 job. And then like, what are you going to do now? You're going to be making $50K a year and like you have no drive whatsoever. And then they complain about it, right? That's the worst thing. It's like people who get caught up in that situation, they start complaining about it. So for me, not being in any of those environments and being able to solely work on myself, work on my business, and work on my future with like no net to catch me, that is what pushes me forward to like a completely different degree, right?
Right.
Like I have nothing to fall back on, so I have no choice but to succeed. Like there's nothing else I can do, you know? And that's another reason why I get pushed forward a lot mentally to get to where I want to be, you know?
And I kind of like your point about the partying thing and the idea that, and the thing I'm going to bring up is this, like I talk to a lot of people about college, especially at this age, like almost every person, if you're like 18 to 20, almost, I think almost every conversation starts if you meet another 18 to 20 year old.
Like, what do you major?
What's your major?
Yeah.
What college are you going to? Right.
All that stuff.
So it's very ingrained in at least American society.
Very much so.
That if you're in between 18 and 22, you're in college. Right. And the thing that I find so interesting is I'm getting to my point because I know it's like I'm kind of going all around. So I'm talking to a lot of people that are my age who are going to college. And one of the main things that they keep bringing up is like, oh yeah, I'm going to this school. It's a good party school.
It's like, what?
And okay, so like this is how I break it down. Okay. Going to parties is not that big of a deal. You should have fun and live your life to an extent.
Very much so. I agree.
And I think it's like, okay, cool. Me personally, I don't enjoy parties that much. And when people ask me, oh, do you want to go to I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? And no one's like, oh, that's weird. Like, why don't you want to go to this party? But the thing that's interesting to me is I see a lot of people who college becomes about the parties and college becomes about the it's the college life.
The relationships, drinking.
And I talk, especially people who like join like fraternities and like the Greek life there. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't enjoy the college life unless you're really part of like the Greek life because that's where the parties are at and everything. I'm like, dude, that's not why I'm here. You know what I mean?
That's not what it's about.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not paying however much a month, however much a semester to party, right? And plus, joining a frat, that's another like $2,000 every semester or whatever it is. I don't know. You're paying money to be in these frats as well. So basically all I'm doing is just paying this money to stress out about school and then go drink and party and do whatever. It's like, like, in my opinion, life is about having fun. But at the same time, right now are the most important years for us to kind of build that wealth, build that growth. It's the time where we can spend the least amount of hours of sleep, grind really hard, get as much done as we can. So why not take advantage of that? Totally. You know what I'm saying? Like it's right off the bat, starting in that party mentality at school, starting in this, oh, I'm going to go party, I'm going to go have fun. It's just immediately setting yourself up to get into that kind of lazy and just kind of looking for the biggest reward lifestyle. Right. And
that'll lead into the rat race.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just like, that's why most people out of college, even if they go get a 4-year degree, it's like, okay, well, now I got my 4-year degree. What do I do now?
It's like, bro.
You know what I mean? Because you spent 4 years partying instead of actually looking into what you want to do. What's going to make you succeed, right? Like, it's the thing that I think pisses me off the most, even though I'm someone who goes to college, and I encourage going to college. I agree that going to college is really important, but the thing that pisses me off the most is when people look at me and they have the ability to say, or like people who are saying, oh, if you don't go to college, you're going to fail. You're going to have nothing, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, there's plenty of successful people who haven't gone to college.
Yeah.
The college thing has nothing to do with it, in my opinion. Like
it's down to like the person almost,
right.
You know?
It's like, that was my point. Like you can go to college and there's plenty of successful people who do go to college, but there's plenty of successful people who don't go to college as well. The college thing, it's like a logical fallacy where like people are like, well, if you don't go to college, you're not going to succeed. But even people who go to college don't succeed. And even people who don't go to college do succeed. So obviously there's no connection there.
There isn't, yeah.
And it's simply about, okay, I want to be successful or not, right? So throw away that idea that, oh, if I'm not going to college, I'm not being successful, right? It's a mentality created by
like society,
and basically your parents wanting you to have a safe option, right? if you tell your parents, oh yeah, I'm going to move out at 18 and go live in Guatemala and build whatever the frick to this big business, they might look at you like, huh?
They're going to be terrified.
Right? But if you go ahead, you leave your house for 4 years and you come back with this really successful Guatemalan business, then who are they to say you're wrong?
Very
Do you know
true.
what I'm saying?
Very true.
So it's like really anything seems possible if you just put your mind to it and you say, this is what I'm going to go do. But it's unsafe in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, what a lot of people get tripped up on.
Yeah.
It's not about success or not. It's about the safety net
yeah.
that you're giving yourself. And
Okay.
college, rightfully so, especially if your parents are paying for it, is a big freaking safety net.
That's a good point. I kind of wanted to dig in more to like the per person thing, like depending on the success, right? And I want to talk to the people who are kind of more leaning on my side where they're like, yo, screw college. I'm going to go be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I want to talk to you guys for a second. This is something I really genuinely want you to think about, right? If you can't sit down for an hour and just do work on your future, work on something disciplined, if you can't even like keep your physical health up, if you don't have your mental health up, you need to go to college. Like, I just want to drive this home. Like, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, but you can barely get any work done on your own, you just like to play video games all day and you literally like don't do anything with your life and you're just expecting this to happen, you need to go to college because you will fail as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, that is just the bottom line.
It's definitely harder. You're setting yourself up for a harder path, but one that can happen quicker and more successfully.
Exactly. And like, that's why entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, it's for me. But like, you just scroll on Instagram for like 4 hours a day, right?
Right.
And you haven't had really much productive days at all. And you can't even push yourself to do something. You will have like next to 0% chance of being successful.
Right.
And like, so people like that right now, if you honestly, like, if this is hitting you and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually me, you need to take some time, take a step back and like actually figure out your discipline. Because if you're not going to be disciplined, if you're not going to have the correct mindset, you know, the correct mental health for coming into this, you are just going to literally fail so hard and you will be way off worse than everyone else, you know? So like, it's almost a dangerous thing being an entrepreneur. Yeah. Like, it is, like, straight up. And if you're not going to have the correct mindset, discipline, and execution on this, you're done for. Just go to college, literally. And I'm not saying college is for undisciplined people. I'm just saying you need that safety net because you are not prepared for the entrepreneur lifestyle.
Right. It's definitely a harder jump to get into the entrepreneurship right out of college or right out of high school, just like jumping into it, right? It's more risky, right? And I think the thing that we kind of keep coming back to is like, once again, it almost like has nothing to do with whether you're going to college or not, meaning you're going to be successful, right? Like, it's about who you are as a person. And it kind of keeps going back to this. And what's interesting is almost every single episode, we've talked about a variety of different topics. But if you go back and you look at every episode,
look at the core themes,
and you look at the theme, the main thing keeps coming up is this. You as a person are the only thing that's going to set yourself up for success or failure. All these things we talk about, all these things that we introduce, there is only one thing that is keeping you from being successful in doing the things that we're talking about and succeeding in them, or failing and not doing them. And what it is your mindset and your ability to sit down and do the work, right?
That discipline, you know?
And it's the main thing that I keep kind of coming back to is like, you can always improve on it. You can always work on it. And you can always build it, right? It's like, if I feel like I'm not doing good enough, it's not because something's in my way or there's something that's keeping me from doing something. It's like, no, I just haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to keep pushing myself and keep being disciplined and keep working at it. And that's the most important thing. And it's kind of going to lean into something that I want to talk about quickly, which is a very college thing and a very community college thing, which is this. A lot of people jump in to community college and they say, I don't know what I want to do. And it's a great reason to go to community college. Okay. Community college is, in my opinion, the best way for someone who doesn't really know what he wants to do to get into it, right? You can see, okay, these are all these options because it's cheaper, it's close to home, you can figure out what you want to do, and in my opinion, it's a great thing. But at the same time, people who don't utilize it and allow it to just be more of like a, oh yeah, I'm taking 2 years of relaxing, taking easy general ed courses while I pretend to be looking for what I want to do, okay? So my point is this. Once again, it doesn't matter whether you're going to college or you're staying at home and you're not going to college and you're going to just work on trying to be an entrepreneur, whatever you want to do, right? there's basically nothing stopping you from succeeding except yourself.
100%.
Like, you have to sit there and go, okay, I need to find this thing that I want to do, right? It's okay to graduate from high school and still not know what you want to do.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like,
It's,
straight
I
up.
mean, I think it's like 75% of students who go into college are an undeclared major, or they're uncertain about what they want to do. You're 18. It's natural to not know what you want to do.
100%.
So many people either then jump into something they don't want to do because it's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or my parents said it'll make me successful. Or, oh yeah, my parents have been pushing for me to do this all my life.
Then they get locked in.
Then they get locked in on this thing they don't really want to do.
And that's when the rat race happens.
Yeah. Or they do the other side of it, which is, oh, I don't know what I want to do yet, and my parents didn't really push me to figure it out anyway, so I'm just going to sit here in this void and goop of I don't know what I'm doing and just kind of figure it out from there. And then 2 years down the line, you got to go to figure out if you're going to go to 4-year or not, and you have no idea what you still want to do. And most people then end up flunking out, and they become the bottom line work base that we all enjoy and look at. Because sadly, that's kind of the facts of the matter, right? In some amount, society needs people who are going to be working minimum wage jobs, right? There's only so many children. There's only so many people that can work these minimum wage jobs. At one point, we're going to need people to do it. You know what I'm saying? And what we're trying to do is encourage you to not be one of those people, right?
We know you have drive.
We know you
right?
have
if you're
the
listening
potential.
to this, if you're listening to this podcast, you definitely want to be different. You don't want to be like everyone else, getting caught in the rat race and like, you know, working a job that you hate and living a life that you don't enjoy. Like, you're definitely that type of person who wants more, and that's why you're here.
And that's why we're kind of talking about it here, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this to people normally.
Oh no,
like
absolutely not.
If people ask me, like, I wouldn't answer a question like, oh, what do you think I should do for college or whatever? I wouldn't be like, well, if you haven't figured it out yet, you're probably going to end up in a minimum wage job anyway. I wouldn't say that to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The reason I'm saying it is because we're here on this podcast, and there's an important thing that you're doing by listening, and that's trying to improve and set yourself up, right? And I'm almost in a way saying it because it's a way that I motivated myself and kept myself from getting like too lazy, right? Because it's true. So many people go get a degree and then just go work some dumb minimum wage or like management of a minimum wage job where you're getting paid $25 an hour, dude. You spent 4 years and got like $60,000 in debt for a $25 an hour job.
That's what scares me, bro. Like
that's really easy to fall into.
100%.
Because you didn't figure out what you wanted to do fast enough, right? And the sad truth is it might... Okay, hold on. Reword again.
Reword.
Not the sad truth, okay? I have lived my life going through school in a very competitive scene. I think most honors and AP kids, I've talked to other people who've gone through this.
Yeah.
It's extremely competitive.
100%.
Compared to a lot of, like, I've taken classes where I wasn't in honors, and I was taking classes where I am in honors.
You can tell the difference.
The difference is the competitiveness. And see, this is the thing. I have always been like the worst honors AP kid. I wasn't dumb. I just didn't care at all, right? And people knew that. And what was interesting is, I think I don't know too much about like non-honors, but like honors kids talk about it like a good amount. Like honors AP kids, like in these classes, you're talking about who's the smartest. You're talking about who's got it and who doesn't, right?
Like
it's just kind of this,
each other up almost.
This known hierarchy of like who do you go to when you have a problem, right? And what was interesting is, and I remember I was talking to one of my friends who was in my physics class. He'll know if he's listening. He definitely isn't, but he'll know. And I was talking to him, and he was like, how do you get it all but don't pay attention, right? And I didn't think about it at the time. I was like, I don't know. I just like, it kind of makes sense to me. My brain learns it quick. And what was interesting is, even though I sucked, I had bad grades, and I didn't pay attention, people would still come to me with questions because my brain was able to work in a way that a lot of other people weren't able to do. And it's this thing that I think is really important and is what separates successful people from unsuccessful. And what it is, here's the secret. It's really simple. It's your ability to think on the spot and think conceptually, right?
Okay.
What's interesting is in honors and AP classes, there's a lot of material being learned in a day, right? And a lot of people resort to taking a bunch of notes, memorizing a bunch of things, and trying to memorize test to test to test. Okay. But if you ask them at the end of the year about what they learned, they'll stumble to tell you what they're what they actually learned, right?
Interesting.
And for me, I always took a different approach to it, right? Understanding the concept and then building upon that, right? And hold on, this might sound just completely random
coming back
and
together.
unrelating, but I'm putting it together now.
Okay.
So I realized, okay, my brain can work in that way. And my brain is good at figuring these things out conceptually and building on building blocks, right? It's kind of the way that I think is the best way to learn. Understanding a concept and then building from it and practicing with it and making it more complicated. And so then I started applying that to other things. And I realized that it's not just like a subject that works with that. It's everything. Everything you do in life can be built off first understanding the most basic concept. If you want to build a really successful business, you can't start off by figuring out some complex issue with it that you haven't even started yet. Where do you have to start?
You got to take the
at
first
the
step.
bottom.
Yep.
You have to start at the bottom and master the simple parts of just what my business is doing. How am I going to be successful? What do the people that I'm like serving want, right? And we're getting really, 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 really good at that. And then we can, now we understand that concept, so we can make it more complicated.
Move to level 2.
And make it more complicated, right?
Mm-hmm. Level 3.
But what people try to do is just mimic what other people do, right? Without actually learning the reason that it's happening or the reason it's working, right? Mm-hmm. So my point is, and this is what I've done for since I figured this out, I was like, okay, I have something that a lot of other people don't, and it's the ability to just take a step back and understand conceptually what's going on, right? And then from there, you can do anything. As long as you understand conceptually what is making someone successful, you take the time to figure it out and learn and actually learn what they're doing, it's easy. Anything is accomplishable once you figure that out. It's just whether or not you got the time to do it or not, right?
There's the point right there, time, right? So here's the thing. I'm going to kind of dig into the college people a little bit here, right? Okay. They waste a lot of their time. Not saying all college people do, but from what I've seen, a lot of college students waste their time. It's the partying. A lot of time wasted. It's like the doing whatever they want to do, not really focusing in school, but wanting to be rich, right? There's a lot of issues that I see with the college system when students, especially everyone wants to be rich, right? Everyone wants to be rich. Who doesn't want to?
It's easy.
And it's easy. But here's the thing. I think a lot of college students are expecting to be rich with the job that they're going to work, right? Especially let me throw out doctors, for example. There's nothing wrong with doctors, but I think we need doctors. We need them all the time, need right? Doctors. But there's a lot of kids in there who are trying to be doctors just for the money.
Right.
And
they don't love the science.
Yeah, they don't love the science of it or anything. And think about this, right? They'll be working 80 hours a week and they're making $400K a year, right? That's a lot of money. That's great. But now you don't have any time because you're cranking 80 hours a week and there goes your life right out the window.
And if you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's why why get into college and spend all that time working towards all that time and suffering, right? Working towards something where you're getting paid $400K a year, right? And then you're like, cool, I'm working 80 hours a week. I'm suffering, but I'm making 7 figures, baby.
Bank,
Here's the thing, being an entrepreneur, you can struggle, grind through that. And it's going to be more of a grind, right? But it's more of a delayed gratification. You're pushing through all that pain and suffering, but now you're making 7 figures, but you have time on your hands and you can go to Guatemala, make some coffee beans, come back home later in the week and be like, oh yeah, I just made $35,000 over the day, right? That's kind of the lure of entrepreneurship and why I'm so against, for me personally, going into college, just wasting the time because I want to be financially free as well as have free time.
Right. And what I think's ironic is people go into college because it seems like a route with the most amount of possibility, the most amount of stability. And it's true that it has a lot of stability.
Very much so. That's why it's I recommend it.
Yeah. And but the one thing I think about entrepreneurship that is easily the best part about it is its kind of fluidity and its liquidity and being able to kind of be whatever you want it to be.
It's undefined,
And that's kind of the beauty of it. It's for someone like myself, I think a lot of times I want to do something that's more than just a job.
Yeah.
I want to accomplish something where people will remember me as someone who did something successful.
Yeah.
Right. Who created net benefit in this world. Right. I don't want to just be some random dude who ends up dying, not being known at all, not being
gone from society.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And all I did was make $200K a year doing whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Right. So realistically, in my opinion, the whole decision of whether you're not going to college or not, whether or not you want to do it or not, is just about, are you willing to risk for the thing you really want to do or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And if the thing you really want to do is a college route opportunity,
Take
then
it.
go do it because it's the thing you really
Yeah.
want to do.
And put in the effort, put in the work. Don't waste it.
Exactly.
Like
And no one's going to crap on you like, oh, you're going to college to do that. Anyone who's saying that is just self-conscious and lame.
100%.
Let's be honest. Anytime anyone's like, I want to do this, I'm like, well, you go do it.
Yeah,
You know
go
what I mean?
crazy, bro.
If you're really passionate about it, I admire it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you're just there because you want to be and you want to make money and that's it, and you're not doing something that actually genuinely makes you happy,
have fun in the rat race, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
We'll see you around then.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Have fun.
We'll see you in that rat race while we're looking over you.
Yeah, we'll be looking down on the rats.
Exactly.
But anyways, I think that kind of sums up both of our points pretty well.
I think so.
If anyone wants more on that, we'll definitely talk about it more. But I hope this really helped you guys. If you made it this far, I really hope this helped you think about what you want to do for your plans in the future, or if you're already in college or, as an entrepreneur or whatever path you're choosing. We hope that you genuinely think about it and be like, oh, am I actually trying here? Am I putting in my purpose? Am I happy? All those questions, ask yourself, stare at a wall today and just think about it, straight up.
Just think, yeah.
Yeah. So go out there and let's grind.
Let's grind.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
I can't believe I'm happy to be alive.
I'm happy. You can't believe you're happy to be alive?
I can't believe I'm happy to be alive because every day is better than the last.
All right. So
we hope you guys enjoyed.
We hope you all enjoyed.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
Next episode. Episode 11 next week, Monday morning.
Monday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
We'll see you all.
Have a great week. Go do something amazing and go make somebody smile.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.